Good morning, David.
Good morning, Karat.
Tell us, how can social media be used to promote risk culture?
I think social media is a blessing and a curse. And I'll explain why. And it's certainly true in general use with young people and with societies and so on. It offers huge opportunities for communication and also for manipulation and exploitation and the spreading of things that are not really true. So what is risk culture? If you remember back to an earlier conversation, we say that culture is the values and beliefs, knowledge and understanding that are shared by a group with a common purpose. That's culture. So risk culture are the values, beliefs, knowledge and understanding about risk, which are shared by a group of people with a common purpose. So that could be an organization or a department within that organization or a function or a project or an operations team or the HR department or. So a group of people who share shared objectives will have a view about what risk is, why it matters, how it should be managed, what a level of attention and effort should be given to it. These are our values, beliefs, knowledge and understanding. And often we talked about developing risk culture top down or bottom up. And our conclusion was that maybe ends in, both together is the most powerful way. Senior leadership are expressing the requirement and the desire and the role modeling, the need for having a proper understanding of risk, setting those values, ensuring that knowledge and understanding and rolling it down from the top throughout the organization. At the same time, people at the working level are doing it in practice on their projects, in their operations, in their functions, and are saying, in my small part of responsibility, we will identify and manage risks effectively, and we will build those values upwards and share them with our sponsors and with our business owners and with our users and clients. And so it'll ripple upwards and it'll flow downwards, and they should be consistent and aligned. So that's how risk culture is spread within an organization. And clearly communication is the key. And what we want to do is ensure consistent messages from top to bottom across the organization about values, beliefs, knowledge, and understanding. Now, social media is a communication tool like no other. It gives us the ability to reach lots of people instantly and for lots of people to provide inputs and feedback very quickly. So it is extremely powerful. And of course it can have a role in communicating both top-down and bottom-up the values and beliefs, knowledge and understanding about risk for an organization. But also because of that immediacy and that connectedness, it's very easy for it to become diverted and distracted. And you might find that someone in the organization has a slightly different understanding that risk is only bad, for example. And all we're interested in are the threats of things that could cause problems, and that's the main focus. And they start to communicate that through social media channels, and the people that they're connected to are either confused or persuaded. And either way, you then create a conflict of misunderstanding within the organization, and the culture starts to become diluted. And then you end up with the risk of a kind of a double culture, that you have a subculture within the organization, promoted and sustained by social media. And the other problem with social media is it's very hard to police. The best way is to ensure consistent use of messages from the top over a period of time, which reinforce the same set of values, beliefs, knowledge and understanding. But very often that doesn't happen. People are busy, or they just say something quickly without thinking about whether it really reflects the values. And so it's easy through social media for things to just go off track very quickly. So a blessing and a curse. I would say it could be used in a very powerful way, and maybe it's something we can learn how to do better in the future.
That's true. It's very rightly said that it's a blessing and a curse. It can be a curse if it goes in an uncontrolled direction, and can totally be a blessing if it's used to spread values, for example,
Exactly.
Common values.
And often there's a generational thing here, because young people they grow up with social media, they're quite used to it, their thumbs are very strong from doing all of this.
Yes.
Older people, they go like this and it takes forever. Older people tend to be in senior leadership,
Yes.
and younger people tend to be in the workforce.
Correct.
Now, values and beliefs come from the top.
Yeah.
They should be set by the tone from the leadership. And if they're not comfortable with using social media, and the younger people in the organisation who form the workforce are comfortable, then the danger is that the messages are not flowing from the top. They're all passing within the workforce this way, horizontally.
Yeah.
And so you end up with a mismatch that the senior old guys at the top are slowly trying to drip feed the values. Meantime, people in the workforce are doing this very quickly, communicating in a way they're familiar with.
Yes.
And when we talked about how culture arises, we said that culture comes from repeated behaviour. If you do this over and over again, it becomes the culture. And that's driven by the attitudes which come from our values and beliefs. So that ABC model we talked about.
Yes.
And so if at the lower level within the workforce of an organisation, the use of social media is promoting slightly different values and different understanding and practices about risk, then that will become a subculture which is different from what the leadership is trying to promote. And that could be a major problem.
Absolutely, and that's why you say it could be a curse.
Exactly.
Thank you, David.
It's a pleasure.